This is Mythic Helya for the Chosen achievement. This is from a melee perspective. So the purple marker is for tanks. Moon is where the melee are going to be most of Phase 1 and Phase 3. So you want to start the fight there, whereas healers and range are going to be on X. So as a melee, you want to stay as close to Moon as possible. You don't want to stray into the X, otherwise you'll get hit by the ranged orb. And if you get too close to the purple, you'll get hit by the breath that's hitting the tank right now. As soon as that breath finishes as a melee, you want to make sure you DPS these adds down, because the healers and ranged are busy handling their first corrupted orb slicer. As soon as those are dead, you want to get back onto the moon. Sometimes green swirls are going to make you have to move away, like right here we have to move back, but don't go too far back because the corrupted orb slicer is coming. And watch right when the cast starts. So look at it right there, it starts. I move a little late. I should have moved right when it started. I moved closer to when it ended, but as soon as it was done, since I wasn't targeted, I went back to the center to make sure that I was there to help soak those tentacles. You can use an immunity to soak them, but we just have everyone in raid split the 6 million damage that it does. We get one more breath before the next phase, which will sometimes happen if your DPS is just a little shy to phaser before that breath happens, but it's no big deal. If you're in an odd group, you should go left. If you're in an even group, you should go right. On this pull, I'm in an odd group, so I'm going left. You want to get on that Mistwatcher right away, burst it down as quickly as possible. Someone will be assigned to interrupt it, so you do not interrupt it unless you're assigned to it. The tank grabs this Grimelord. If I were to get Fetid Rot, I would run away from the raid, and that anchor slam, you want to run away from the tank when they get that. As soon as both the Watcher and the either Grimelord, or if you're on the other side it would be a Mariner, are dead, you want to kill those tentacles together. As soon as it dies as a melee, you have to drop down. Range, get to stay up, and just DPS the tentacle from that ledge. Notice I'm not worried about standing in this decay right here. It's not a big deal. I can it does negligible damage. I'm only backing off because our tentacle was a little too far ahead of the people on the right side because they got a Watcher, and now once they caught up, we DPS them together. I get to the top as quickly as possible, and we're gonna put very little DPS. We're not going too hard on this tentacle. I'm just putting a judgment here and there, and as soon as that Watcher spawns, that's what I was waiting for, we burst that down right away. We go right back on the tentacle only if the other side is caught up. So right now both sides are synced up, so we go ahead and execute it, and instead of tanking the Mariner and the Grimelord up top, we just bring them down below. We execute them really quick, and then once they're dead, we make sure we look for any Watchers. If there's any Watchers, if you notice those waves getting cast right now, that's because some of those there might be a Watcher up that's getting cast off and not getting interrupted on the other side, so that needs to get executed. But once everything's situated, you kill those two tentacles in the back. The range, and there's a Watcher right there, it needs to get killed before you go into the phase. All the ranged and healers are going to be to my right. They're going to be on the X. As a melee, you want to be on Moon. Go ahead and stand in the green decay. It's fine to stand in. Just don't stand in the green swirls because they knock you back. There you see a healer was out of position, so I had to move away from the corrupted orb slicer because a healer was way too far to the left instead of standing on the X. As a melee, it was kind of dangerous for me to go soak that purple swirl because I might have been targeted by the slicer, but I just saw that there were not enough people soaking it, and also I can pop in immunity through that. And then the range are dealing with their next corrupted orb slicer. A few people are out of position again there. People get killed because of that. And then there's going to be another breath and then a melee corrupted orb slicer right away. So I'm stacked on Moon. The only purple swirls I really want to soak are the ones that are really close to this Moon. So there's the breath right there, but I know a corrupted orb slicer is happening. I'm not targeted, so I go try to soak some of the purple swirls. There was someone in it anyway. Everyone's doing a good job. And then at this point, we just execute the boss. One thing I didn't mention yet is the Mariner that spawns. It died so fast, I didn't get to really talk about it. But if people don't focus it right away, then people are going to die from the Lantern. If it's up for more than 10 seconds, your DPS is doing something wrong. There's another orb slicer on the range this time. And you would only get that if your DPS is a little slow. Like I said, the boss is normally dead at this point. She'll get a third breath off right before she dies. We won't have to soak the the little swirls that happen because she's so low, and that ad that spawns we don't have to deal with either. But just in case, I'm trying to stand into both of these swirls, knowing that I can bubble off the debuff, and then we execute Helya before anything bad happens. But that's the Helya fight. Just know that as a melee, think melee Moon, make sure you're in position, and if you're in the right position, you're less likely to kill people. Alright, good luck getting you chosen.